No one tells you how to be authentically yourself. Friends, welcome back to the podcast. My name is MacKenzie Simmons, and I'm your host and tour guide through the crazy adventures of early career nursing. Your first years don't have to be a struggle. I believe you have the ability to thrive, and that's why we will continue to uncover the truths behind your first years in the profession. On today's episode, we are learning more about a topic that I have become quite known for, and that is branding yourself by leaning in to your genuine self. If you did not already know, you have a personal brand, and that's being authentically you, not just conforming. This episode is not to tell you to become exactly like myself, your mentor, or your biggest inspiration, or even the nurse next door. But instead, my hope is to inspire you to take grasp of opportunities available when you are not afraid to be yourself, no matter what that looks like. Let's get into the episode. No one tells you that one of the hardest parts of becoming a nurse isn't learning how to start an IV, read an EKG, or manage a critically ill patient. It's learning how to be yourself in a profession that often has very strong ideas about who you should be. Professionalism often gets confused with conformity among many new nurses. Professionalism is not about fitting into a mold, suppressing your personality, or becoming a carbon copy of the nurses who came before you. True professionalism is about competence, integrity, accountability, respect, and a commitment to providing safe, quality patient care. You can be professional while still being authentic. You can be professional while still expressing yourself through color and creativity. You can bring your unique strengths, passions, and perspective to the profession without sacrificing credibility. In fact, some of the most impactful nurses are those who embrace who they are rather than who they think they're supposed to be. As the next generation of nurses enters the workforce, we have an opportunity to redefine professionalism, not as conformity, but as excellence rooted in authenticity. Nursing doesn't need nurses who all look, think, and act the same. It needs diverse voices, innovative ideas, and individuals who are confident enough to lead as themselves. Being authentically yourself starts with understanding who you are when no one else's expectations are influencing your decisions. What are the values that guide you? What excites you? What kind of impact do you want to make? Who are you when no one else is watching? Authenticity isn't about being the loudest person in the room or sharing every single opinion you have. It's about making choices that align with your values rather than choices driven by fear of judgment or the desire for approval. It is about being true to yourself, even if that's not considered the cool thing. Many nurses spend years trying to fit into what they believe a good nurse should look like. They compare themselves to experienced colleagues, social media personalities, managers, educators, and peers. While mentorship and learning from others is so important, there comes a point when comparison begins to pull us away from ourselves. Comparison can have you start questioning your own strengths because they differ from someone else. We begin hiding parts of our personality because we worry they won't be accepted. Over time, constantly trying to fit in can leave us feeling disconnected from who we really are. Authenticity requires courage because not everyone will understand your journey. There will always be people who will think you should stay where you are, pursue a different path, or act differently. There may be people who will tell you to tone it down or that you're just too much. But being authentic means accepting that not everyone has to agree with your choices for them to be right for you. It means trusting yourself enough to pursue opportunities, speak up about issues that matter to you, and create a career that reflects your passions and goals. For me, authenticity has never looked like fitting neatly into a box. I've always been someone who embraces color, creativity, and a little bit of whimsy in everything I do. Whether it's wearing fun accessories, decorating my workspace, creating engaging projects, or bringing energy and enthusiasm into a room. I've learned that those things aren't distractions from professionalism. They're actually a part of who I am. Trying to fit into a box I assumed I was required to wasn't being professional. Instead, it was actually a hit on my character. For a long time, I wondered if I needed to tone down parts of myself to be taken seriously as a nurse. But the more experience I've gained, the more I've realized that the things that make me different are often the things that help me connect with others, especially my patients. Showing up as myself has made the biggest difference in my self-esteem as a nurse. I love bright colors, creative ideas, and finding ways to make nursing more engaging and approachable. I believe healthcare can be serious without taking ourselves too seriously. Some of my favorite projects have come from allowing myself to think differently, whether that's creating educational resources, planning conferences, developing new ideas, or finding innovative ways to engage nurses. The willingness to embrace creativity has opened doors I never expected. To be honest, this was not an easy journey for me, as I have faced some backlash. Older nurses have told me that my approaches are too far of a stretch from professionalism, that I'm childish, and that I'm just way too much. And yes, it hurt. And it was not fun having those conversations. However, I have never regretted advocating for myself, nursing, and redefining professionalism. Authenticity to me has also meant learning not to stay silent when I see opportunities for change. Throughout my nursing journey, I found myself speaking up, asking questions, and challenging the idea that this is just how it's always been done. That can feel uncomfortable, especially as an early career nurse. There's often pressure to wait your turn, keep your head down, and simply follow a path that's already been laid out. But some of the most meaningful growth happens when you're willing to respectfully question processes, advocate for improvements, and bring new ideas to the table. Being authentically yourself doesn't mean everyone will understand you. Not everyone will appreciate your ideas, your personality, or your vision. But I've learned that I'd rather be remembered for being genuine than for being the perfect nurse I thought others wanted me to be. The nurses who have inspired me the most weren't the ones who blended into the background. They were the ones who had the courage to bring their whole selves into the profession. They were confident in their values, passionate about their purpose, and unafraid to make an impact. The truth is, my love for color, creativity, leadership, advocacy, and innovation are not separate from my identity as a nurse. They are part of what makes me the nurse I am. And I think that's the message I want others to hear. You don't have to leave pieces of yourself at the door to be successful in this profession. Not only that, I think we all need to remember that nursing is a huge part of our lives. However, it should not be the only thing that defines you. Nursing is a part of your life, but never should be your whole life. Nursing needs your true personality, not the fake facade you decide to paint on. It needs your ideas. It needs your perspective. It needs the unique things that make you, you. One of the most powerful ways to be authentic is to stop shrinking yourself. Too often nurses downplay their accomplishments, minimize their ambitions, and hesitate to share their ideas. They wait until they feel experienced enough or qualified enough before stepping into leadership roles or pursuing opportunities. Authenticity means owning your strengths while remaining humble enough to continue learning. It means recognizing that your voice has value, even when you're early in your career. As an early career nurse, you have such a voice. It can make such a huge impact. It is completely okay to not know everything. And 100% you're not going to know everything. And that's okay. That shows you how much growth you have. And embrace this. Being yourself also means allowing yourself to evolve. The nurse you are today may not be the nurse you are 5 years from now, or 10 years from now. And that's okay. Authenticity isn't staying the same forever. It's having the self-awareness to grow while remaining grounded in your core values. As your experience shapes you, your interests may change, your goals may shift, and your understanding of yourself may deepen. Growth is not a betrayal of who you are. It's becoming who you're meant to be. At the end of the day, being authentically yourself means showing up with honesty, confidence, and purpose. It means embracing the qualities that make you unique instead of viewing them as something to hide. The nursing profession doesn't need another version of someone else. The more comfortable you become being yourself, the more meaningful your career, your relationships, and your impact will come. Because the most influential nurses aren't the ones who perfectly fit into a box. They're the ones who have the courage to redefine it. I think most of us spend our lives trying to figure out who we're supposed to be and how we are supposed to act and do certain things. We look at people we admire and we think, maybe if I act like them, talk like them, dress like them, lead like them, and even walk like them, then maybe I'll be successful too. Maybe I won't be an outcast any longer. I know I used to do this all the time. I've always been known for being quirky and whimsical. I used to hate the side of myself and wish that I'd be better about blending in. I used to be made fun of for my cute little accessories that I love to wear. But over time, I've learned to embrace this side of myself. And now people love it because they know that I'm being genuinely myself. Before I embraced this side of myself, I often put on different masks to hide the biggest part of myself that I was ashamed of because I wasn't like everyone else. Whimsy may be the new trend now, but it certainly wasn't back in middle school when you tried to find your place. And as a new grad nurse, I was often looked down for just embracing my whimsical and colorful side. But that side of me wasn't willing to stay in the box, and I'm so glad that I released it. The next generation is challenging this idea of professionalism, and honestly, I'm so excited to see the change. Professionalism isn't disappearing, it's evolving. Today's nurses are showing up as clinicians, leaders, educators, advocates, content creators, entrepreneurs, researchers, and policy influencers. They're using social media to educate the public, sharing their experiences to support other nurses, building businesses, creating podcasts, speaking at conferences, and advocating for change. They're proving that professionalism and personality can coexist. For years, many nurses were taught that the safest route was to blend in. Keep your head down, don't rock the boat, don't stand out too much. But healthcare is changing rapidly, and nursing needs innovative voices. We need nurses who are willing to speak about staffing issues, mental health, workplace violence, patient advocacy, health equity, and healthcare policy. All the things that absolutely rock that boat. We need nurses who bring their unique perspectives and experiences to the table. Diversity of thought is what moves professions forward. And I am excited to say that I am one of those nurses who is so excited to rock that boat, even if it means not everyone likes me. This is where personal branding comes in. Sometimes people hear the term personal brand and immediately think influencers or social media. But your personal brand is much bigger than that. Your brand is simply your reputation. It's what people think of when they hear your name. It's the impact you leave on patients, coworkers, students, and leaders. It's how you make people feel. Whether you're intentionally building a brand or not, you already have one. As nurses, our personal brand isn't built through the perfect Instagram post or carefully curated LinkedIn profiles. It's built through consistency. Are you the nurse that advocates for patients? The nurse who stays calm during emergencies? The nurse who welcomes new grads or new nurses to the unit? The nurse who is always willing to help? The nurse who is willing to listen and be a friend? The nurse who speaks up when something isn't safe? Those actions tell a story long before any resume does. One of the biggest mistakes early career nurses make is waiting until they feel experienced enough to build their professional identity and their professional brand. They think, I'll do that later when I have more experience. But the professional identity starts on day one. Every interaction, every opportunity, every project, and every relationship contributes to the story you're telling about who you are as a nurse. The beautiful thing about authenticity is that it allows your professional brand to reflect your actual values. If you're passionate about education, lean into education. If you love political advocacy, pursue advocacy. If you're passionate about critical care, become known for your expertise. If you care deeply about mentoring new nurses, make that part of your professional identity. The goal isn't to become what everyone else thinks a successful nurse should be. The goal is to become the best version of the nurse you were meant to be. For me, I love political advocacy, so I'm doing a performance improvement project at my hospital all about political advocacy for bedside nurses. I love teaching nurses about advocacy at and beyond the bedside. I also become involved with the Florida Nurses Association on a broader scale for political advocacy. For many nurses, especially women, there can be pressure to minimize our accomplishments. We don't want to seem arrogant. We don't want to brag. We don't want to make others uncomfortable. But sharing your work isn't arrogance, it's visibility. If you've created a project, presented at a conference, led a committee, advocated for policy change, or improved patient outcomes, those accomplishments deserve to be shared. Visibility creates opportunities, and opportunities create impact. The challenge is learning how to balance authenticity with professionalism. Authenticity doesn't mean posting anything you want online without considering consequences. It doesn't mean abandoning professional standards. Instead, it means bringing your personality, your values, and your voice into your professional life while maintaining trust and responsibility that nursing requires. Patients deserve competent, ethical care. Those standards will never change. What can change is the outdated belief that professionalism requires suppressing your individuality. For example, I love my colors and my fun accessories, as I've said. So I wear fun hair clips and accessorize my glasses to help my personality shine through, even at the bedside. I've become known for being the girl with all the accessories, and I love it. My patients remember me for it, and further than that, they remember my smiling and bright personality. I think the future of nursing belongs to nurses who are willing to be both credible and human. Nurses who can discuss evidence-based practice while also sharing their unique stories. Nurses who can lead quality improvement projects while also advocating for workplace well-being. Nurses who can lead quality improvement projects while also advocating for workplace well-being. Nurses who can maintain professionalism while still being approachable, authentic, and relatable. So if you're an early career nurse trying to figure out who you are in this profession, remember this. You don't have to choose between being respected and being yourself. You don't have to fit into a predefined box to make an impact. The nursing profession needs your perspective, your experiences, your strengths, and your voice. Because at the end of the day, your greatest professional asset isn't your resume, your certifications, or even your years of experience. It's the unique combination of your skills, passions, values, and lived experiences that no one else can replicate. And that's what no one tells you. Nursing doesn't need a copy of someone else. It needs the most authentic version of you. So if no one's told you yet, make sure you're always introducing your authentic self, because that is the real you. See you on the next episode.